The big news that broke just before we came on air is that Gerry Hutch, the monk, has been found not guilty of the murder of Davy Byrne.
The world of crime seems incomplete without the interference of the most wicked criminal of the century, Kinahan, a name that sends a chill through our spine. And yes, the crimes that he has encountered took away the peaceful night's sleep of millions of common Irish men and made their life freaking miserable. But now, what comes up to the surface is much more scary and nerve-wracking at the same time. Can you guess? Well, you should never trust a criminal. Now he is all set to kill his trusted man, Gerry Hutch. But why? Let's dive deep into the video to know why. Gardaí says Gerry the Monk Hutch will have to flee Ireland as the Kinahan Cartel is desperate to murder him. According to sources who spoke to the Mirror, Gardaí believe Mr. Hutch will be forced to leave his country after being found not guilty of killing David Byrne and released from the Special Criminal Court a few days ago. Gerry the Monk Hutch is thought to be the Kinahan Cartel's top target, so no matter how he uses his newfound freedom, he will live the rest of his life watching his back. The monk is very unlikely to spend any time living in Dublin because of the ongoing threat to his life, given that he fears being perceived as a sitting duck. Because of how well known his face is in the city, it would be safer for him to make room for someone from a different nation. Furthermore, despite the Dubliners' dramatic acquittal by the non-jury court a few days back, sources claim Gardaí still believe he will undoubtedly leave the country. This is even though he has been publicly noticed twice in the city. We expected him to have walked away already, but we think he will get away soon, claims one source. While we cannot read his thoughts, we believe he will depart. Given the threat, the only inference we can make is that he will vanish. It could be tomorrow, in a few weeks, only he knows. After the cartel led by Daniel Kinahan went on a killing spree following the attack on the Regency Airport Hotel in March of that year, which culminated in the fatal shooting of David Byrne, Mr. Hutch left Ireland in the latter part of that year. Therefore, the Kinahans had a rumored $1 million bounty on Hutch's head, complying with the murder of David Byrne. That bounty is probably still in operation. A separate threat to Hutch's freedom is the ongoing investigation into claims that he oversaw the Hutch organized crime gang's operations. He spent years hopping from country to outwit the cartel, which even dispatched hit squads to Europe to track him down. However, despite being declared innocent of the Byrne murder and now free from custody, sources claim that the cartel will still execute the monk if given the chance. He is still the top target for them, according to a source. The National Bureau of Criminal Investigations Gardaí eliminated him from his cell last year so they could question him about this investigation. The DPP is, at present, working on a file. There is a chance that the crime might end up in a life sentence. But now that he has been released in the killing of 34-year-old David Byrne, it is unclear whether Gardaí will be able to accuse Hutch of this offense. After shooting David Byrne, he left Ireland for Lanzarote and became one of the country's most wanted men. He had resided there unnoticed for almost 5 years before being famously apprehended. Hutch was an expert at disguising himself. From February 2016, when he showed up at the funeral of his brother Eddie Hutch, who was shot dead by the Kinahans in retaliation for the murder of Byrne, until his capture in August 2021, he managed to avoid detection. Then, as he sat down for a meal in a restaurant on the Costa del Sol, he was apprehended after a 5-month manhunt involving Spain's top anti-fugitive police unit. April 2021 saw the issuance of a European arrest warrant for Hutch. Now, wherever he opts to go, Hutch is likely to maintain a low profile yet again in one of his multiple residences in Lanzarote, Spain, Turkey, Bulgaria, Hungary, or London, properties Gardaí allege he amassed with the money earned from the Merino Mart robbery and the Brinks Allied raids, claims Hutch has always denied. Although he has listed an apartment in Tias Lanzarote as the headquarters for his Spanish real estate business, it is unknown if he will actually reside there. Hutch will additionally employ caution when deciding on friends because he has lost all faith in people due to Jonathan Dowdall's decision to testify against him. Meanwhile, according to the Irish Mirror, currently Hutch is not facing any kind of charges. Detectives' investigation into his claims that Hutch had been collaborating with dishonest ex-Garda Superintendent John Murphy had been thought to be nearly finished, but we now know there are still months left in the investigation. He will walk if he chooses to. According to a source, there is absolutely nothing that can stop him ahead of the ruling. The world operates in that manner. He is not still facing any charges in this country. Hutch is suspected of leading a criminal organization and acquiring secret Garda information from disgraced former Superintendent Murphy, 62, who is serving a 6.5-year sentence for having marijuana in his Dublin home in 2021. Separate from the Ballymun Garda Station investigation into the attack on the Regency Airport Hotel in north-central Dublin, in which Daniel Kinahan ally David Byrne, 33, was fatally wounded, and for which murder suspect Hutch spent 3 months on trial, NBCI detectives have devoted months to their investigation. Despite the fact that he has been cleared, the Garda investigation into him is still ongoing. He has continually denied being guilty of murder. According to reliable sources, Garda want to accuse Hutch, who has a residence in North Dublin's Clontarf, of leading a criminal organization as part of their ongoing investigation into his connections to Murphy. This infrequently committed offense carries a maximum sentence of life in prison and is one of the state's most effective weapons against criminal gangs. It has been reported to us by reliable sources that the NBCI team looking into Hutch's alleged offense has completed the investigative phase of its inquiry and is currently assembling a file on it for the Director of Public Prosecutions. However, several months would likely pass before the film was finished and sent to the DPP, according to the sources who said the case was so complicated. Furthermore, the prosecutor will likely review the case for several more months before deciding whether Hutch needs to be charged. As a result, it may take close to a year before a decision is reached. If Hutch is exonerated, he may be anywhere in the world. According to Garda, Mr. Hutch, who has denied being responsible for the murder of Mr. Byrne, is likely to first look for asylum in Spain, either on the country's mainland or at his hideout on the Canary island of Lanzarote. Sources, however, claimed that they thought he had a long-term chance of succeeding anywhere in Europe. However, the sources did issue a warning that Mr. Hutch might need to keep an eye on his back for years due to the cartel's power and resources. Another source stated, if they want him dead, they'll keep trying. According to the sources, Murphy is expected to be charged due to his connection to Hutch, and Garda is putting together a file in his case. There is also a chance of prosecution for a Garda who is currently on suspension due to the investigation. Garda believe that Murphy, who was sentenced to prison in October 2017 after being found in possession of cannabis valued at €260,000 at his Dublin residence, worked for Hutch for years and shared sensitive information with him. As a result, he and Hutch were both taken from prison to undergo separate interrogations as part of the investigation. Honestly, these stories make us wish that they were never born in the first place. That would make Earth such a better place to live in. So that's it for today's video. Hope you've enjoyed it. What do you think? Will Gerry the Monk Hutch be able to hide well from the eyes of the wrongdoers and live a new life in a new city with a new identity? Or will that forever remain as a wish for him? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more such amazing content. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.